Hey, so this is where all the beautiful people are hanging out today. Thank you for joining us. My name is Reuben Gordon. I'm a co-director with the Better Detroit Youth Movement and a program manager of the Better Detroit Brownie Company. And I also am creator of the Detroit Youth Resource Alert Project MAP. And I will talk about each of these entities over the next few minutes or so. So, the Better Detroit Youth Movement is a volunteer-driven, youth-serving coalition of incredible individuals and great groups coming together and working together to improve the quality of life and learning for our cities, actually our region's children. Uh, we've been doing youth work for about 15 years now, primarily known for high-profile and large-scale events like the scholarship fair at Cobo Center from about 2015 to about 2018, job fairs at Burt's Warehouse and Eastern Market, healthy youth resource fairs at Don Bosco Hall, Live in Peace art parties at Wayne State. And then we've had initiatives like the Million Father March, which encourages fathers to be more intimately involved in the educational lives of their children slash students. And we've also worked with the Wayne County 36th District Court on the creation and implementation of a alcohol and drug treatment intervention program for first-time offenders. So how did the Better Detroit Youth Movement get started? Back in 2005 or so, I was driving home from work. At the time, I co-owned a marketing company north of Detroit. And all of a sudden, God said to me, I need you to be a musical bus, Mr. Gordon. He might have called me Reuben, by the way. Um, and so at the time, I wasn't quite sure what that meant. But over the next few days, I think specifically I was going down to Detroit, and on the way down to Detroit a few days later, it hit me like a cinder block off falling off a roof. And I realized that God wanted me to uh, be a vehicle and be an instrument in helping to engage and enrich Detroit children, teens, and young adults. And even before then, I've done a lot of community and youth work in a more casual capacity, if you will. Um, I think that community service is in my DNA. I remember at the age of 3 or 4, my mom dragging me to churches in Harlem, New York, where we'd give out Thanksgiving dinners to the homeless and less fortunate. So yeah, the youth work and community service is just a part of who I am. And I tend to believe that we're all here to be a blessing. And so if we all did a little, we'd all accomplish a lot more and this world would flourish. So let's see, where are we now? The Better Detroit Youth Movement believes in not just doing things for young people, but with young people. I think that we're all placed here to be a blessing. And when you can tell a young person that they have the power to empower others, it does a couple of things. One, it lets them begin to realize and fulfill the reality that we're all here to be a blessing. And I think it also allows the onus to come off of that young person. And as you develop a rapport and a relationship with this young person, you can begin to more directly help them develop personally, academically, and even professionally. Um, so we have learned some very important lessons over the past 15 years as a youth serving organization. Number one, I truly believe that most young people want to connect to resources and individuals and groups that can help them to thrive in life and succeed in school. We just have to do a better job of connecting young people to these wonderful resources. I think that a lot of adults, most adults, have something of value, be it time, be it talent, or be it treasure, that they are willing to contribute in the betterment of our region's children. We just have to activate that. We just have to engage them. And I've seen a lot of good grow in that capacity as well. Um, and again, I just really try to use a certain level of tenacity and passion in connecting children to adult resources and adults to opportunities to be a resource to children. Thirdly, over the past 15 years, I've collaborated with hundreds, if not thousands, of incredible individuals and great groups who've inspired me, who are in place to uplift and enrich children every day in some way. And, my contention is that they need a lot of love. They need a lot of support. So we've tried to leverage the power and value of collaboration throughout the youth serving region. Sometimes it's just a matter of us showing up at another youth event that is being hosted by another youth serving group or youth serving individual. I have, in working with these wonderful individuals and these great groups, I've really seen a deficit simply in terms of how we as a youth serving region work and can better function together. And so in many ways, that was the impetus for the creation of for the Detroit Youth Resource Alert Project MAP. And this was my attempt to put down resources, many of whom I've worked with over the years, and many of whom I just Googled on Google. And at one point around 2015, I had put as many as 325 youth serving individuals and youth serving organizations throughout the region on a Google map. And the belief and the hope was that by creating this map, we would do a better job of providing opportunities for children, teens, and young adults and families to connect to these resources. After creating the map, I went to a major foundation and said, hey, we'd like to turn this map into a mobile app because I know a lot of teenagers may not have internet at home, may not have a PC on a desk at home, may not even have a laptop in a backpack. But rest assured, most teenagers, even 7 years ago, have one of these. I call them stupid devices. And if we had a mobile app, we would do a much better job of providing resources on most young people's preferred device of communication. Over the 10-year of my youth work, I've mentored hundreds of high school students throughout the region. And, I've seen too often that when you walk into a high school and you look at a student, he or she may not have any light in their eyes. They may not be excited about living. And so, we have to create those opportunities for them to be excited to be here, for them to be excited to know that there are all these wonderful resources out here, these wonderful people out here who can help them, again, thrive in life and succeed in school, and who can help them to be whatever it is that they want to become. I think, again, that most teenagers that I've come across at our events and simply in the work want something better, but too often don't know where to go to grow. Um, and so if we can connect young people to these resources, at least we're giving them options and opportunities. And I think that's important. I also think it's important that we let young people know that we care about them, especially in this post-pandemic era, and hopefully I can say post confidently for all of us. Um, I think it's even more incumbent upon us to help children who have been removed from their social structure over the past 2 years and who probably are spending much too much time on what many tell me is their best friend. And that concerns me greatly, but that's a conversation for another day. And we need to figure out um, as adults and as families and communities how we can help these young people catch up, because a lot of them have fallen behind through the pandemic and through the lack of um, being socially active in school over the past few years, spending too much time on devices and playing video games and even virtual learning on screens. Um, we need to connect as human beings again, and we need to look at what it's going to take to accelerate that among young people and really among all of us. Um, so I want to back up a little bit. I mentioned earlier that I put this map together back in about 2015. So we're talking 7 years ago, as a way to connect children and families to the abundance of resources that are out there to help children succeed in school and thrive in life. Um, when I went to the foundation asking for funding to turn the map into a mobile app, I was graciously declined, and that's okay. They said something about proof of concept, which still doesn't make sense to me today, because unless you have the mobile app, how do you prove proof of concept? But I recall one of the young men on my youth advisory board saying, Mr. Gordon, those brownies that you bake with your daughter and you bring to our youth events, uh, we are going to help you bake them. We're going to help you sell them. And we are going to have our own Golden Girl Scout cookie. So at the time, I looked at Javante like he was mixed nuts. But after thinking about it for probably at least a few months, I thought there would be merit in starting a company with young people. As we all know, with most young people today, it comes down to music or sports or video games or technology or fashion or making money. And by and large, you can't have any of those other um, activities or pursuits unless you have money. So the proverbial lemonade stand resonated with me. And I said, you know what? Let's bake brownies with young people. Let's start a brownie company. Let's teach young people emotional self-control skills as part of our work. Let's teach them personal development skills as part of our work. And then teach them basic business skills. And those who pass the grade and cut the mustard, so to speak, will then have an opportunity to intern at the brownie company. So I recall it was the summers of 2017, I'm sorry, 2016, nope, 2017 and 2018 that we spent August, almost the entire month of August, in the kitchens, in sweaty kitchens with cool kids, baking dozens and dozens of different brownie recipes. And the mandate was, we don't have to be the best brownie, but the best brownie we can be. And we also implored them to know that we weren't just baking brownies for Detroit children and adults. We were baking brownies for rich kids in Ann Arbor and rich folks in West Bloomfield too. And so we wanted the brownie to be palatable to a diverse cross-section of greater Detroiters. So August number 2, kids getting ready to go back to school. We finally, after dozens and dozens of brownie recipes and a lot of testing about flavor profile and texture, we finally came up with a dark cocoa version of a Better Detroit brownie that we thought was worthy of our children and adults would enjoy too. Fast forward that fall, we went to the world's largest food truck rally on Belle Isle. This was October, November 2018. And we bought 4 kids from the youth group. We bought 250 brownies, and we sold out in less than 2 hours. One of the varieties of brownies we created when we were in the kitchen, once we had our dark cocoa, was a sweet and spicy brownie. And the theory was, let's come up with a variety of brownie that if people like, they have to consider doing business with us to get, because they have a hard time finding a sweet and spicy brownie anywhere else. And so at the Belle Isle event, we were amazed to not only sell out in less than 2 hours, but we were equally amazed that people were just eating up this sweet and spicy brownie. And so that gave us the social proof, that gave us the confidence to actually go ahead and launch the Better Detroit Brownie Company. So today we are a limited wholesale food processor licensed by the Michigan Department of Agriculture. We have commercial insurance. We have our Safe Serve certification as a food manager. And I am absolutely blown away. I'm absolutely amazed by the favorable outpouring of open mouths and satisfied smiles of folks who are trying our brownies, liking, if not loving our brownies, and supporting us in our efforts to use the brownies as a way to not only raise funds for our nonprofit group, but for many other wonderful youth and community causes as well. And so we're now in August of 2022. How time flies when you're having fun. And we are getting ready to bring in our first class of young people again to launch the training program that I mentioned earlier and turn the Brownie Company into a for youth, by youth social enterprise. And what that means is that we want young people running every aspect of the company. A lot of times when we talk entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship, too often we talk about the concept, but we don't give the kids the actual application. I'm proud to say that the brownies are in Meyer River Town Market or Jefferson in downtown Detroit. And as most of us know, Meyer is one of the largest regional retailers out there. We have opportunities to get into another Meyer on 13 Mile in Woodward, if you're familiar with Detroit. And, you know, my goal, my mission, my vision is I want these brownies to be wherever our children need us. And guess where that is, folks? You got it, everywhere. So I am equally proud that our brownies are in restaurants in Walled Lake, restaurants in Pontiac, restaurants in Rochester Hills, restaurants in Shelby Township, restaurants in Waterford. And, you know, our goal again is to engage these restaurants and retailers in what we call community partnerships, whereby they sell the brownies and we use the packaged brownies with a label on the back containing a QR code that redirects consumers to the regional youth resource map. So we think we've come up with a pretty interesting, if not intriguing, way to engage and satisfy consumers to enrich and support more of our children's success. Again, keep in mind that our children need us wherever we adults are. Keep in mind that people want to support, adults want to support our children's success. And so we think the brownie is a delicious reason and a wonderful opportunity to do that. The other program that we are still in the early stages of is called our Brownies for Children initiative, whereby businesses and companies can commit to the purchase of a brownie tray every 30 to 180 days over the course of a year. And they can use these brownies trays to feed their employees, feed their colleagues, feed their customers, feed their clients, or they can take these brownies home and feed their family and friends. We just want to give these businesses an opportunity to also help support a greater Detroit that all our children deserve. So again, I am so grateful for all the wonderful that's growing on around us in the youth work, in the Brownie Company. I implore you to check out betterdetroityouth.org. You can check out betterdetroitbrownies.com. You can see what's left of the map. And let me qualify that. Back in 2015, when I created the Detroit Youth Resource Alert Map, I personally put more than 325 resources on a Google map. Today, because of the pandemic, we're down to around 70 resources. Yes, the pandemic shut down a lot of these youth-serving individuals and groups. And so part of my efforts these days needs to be, how do I repopulate the map so that we have more resources out there for more children and families. Thank you for your time. I can be reached at 734-395-3079 if you'd like to learn more about the work that we're doing. Again, you can also feel free to reach me on my email address. That's rgordon, RGORDON, at betterdetroityouth.org. And, again, I want all of us to begin to realize, if not actualize, that if we all did a little, just a little more, we'd all accomplish a lot. Thank you for this opportunity, and to a greater Detroit all our children deserve. Good night.